Hello guys, my name is Galbadia from Adolphus Satz, and we're going to show you our Maloriak kill. As usually, the tips and tactics will be given during the video. Maloriak got two faces. He got a flask face. He's gonna use three different kinds of flasks then. Red, blue and green. The colors represent different abilities. And he got a second phase, which is a big DPS race. He will start using all kinds of AoEs, all kinds of knockbacks, and he just needs to be nuked down as fast as possible. Let's first go over to the first vial that we had. Blue. When Maloriak uses a blue vial, everybody has to spread out, because Maloriak has two abilities, Flash Freeze and Biting Chill. Flash Freeze will be cast on a random raid member, and that person will be trapped in an ice block. If people are close to that person, they will get trapped as well, so that's why you have to spread out in this phase. The trapped person needs to be freed as soon as possible. The ice block got around 5k health, and note that you will take a little bit of damage when the ice block scatters. Biting Chill gives a ring of frost around its victim and will deal damage to targets close to them. So this phase is very important that you spread out. When Maloriak used the red vial, everybody has to group up behind the tank. We use the cross symbol here. Maloriak will cast Scorching Blast towards the tank. This is like a flamethrower, and the tank has to point it towards the raid so that the damage of Scorching Blast will be shared. Watch out though, since Maloriak will cast Consuming Flames on a random raid member, which is a damage over time, which isn't fatal unless you get hit by another Scorching Blast, because the damage over time will then do twice as much damage, and it will be too overwhelming. So if you get Consuming Flames, move out of the raid until it expires. The red and blue vials are always random which one comes first, but the third vial is always certain to be a green one, so keep that in mind. When Maloriak uses his green vial, he will jump towards the stairs and everybody will be affected by debilitating slime, including Maloriak and his minions, which will increase damage taken by 100%. Now it's time to nuke down his minions as soon as possible, because they are now finally vulnerable to damage. Note though that Maloriak uses another Arcane Storm during this phase and it needs to be interrupted, but I will explain about Arcane Storm and Release Aberrations in a bit. During the entire first phase, Maloriak will keep using Arcane Storm, which is a channeling spell and does damage to everybody from the raid, and the longer it channels, the more damage it does, so keep interrupting that. He will also use Release Aberrations, which are his minions. There are a maximum of 21 aberrations which you can release throughout this encounter, but you only want to deal with 18 before the second phase. How this works is that he will cast Release Aberrations, which will release 3 minions each cast. He will use Release Aberrations 5 times before the first green vial, and you want to let him release at least 3 times before that, so that the other tank got 9 minions on him. Since only 2 green vial phases are allowed in this fight because of the enrage timer, you want to take care of 9 minions each green phase. That will make a total of 18 minions, and that's the exact number you want before phase 2. If you kill less than 18 aberrations, he will release all the remaining ones as soon as you get in the second phase, and that's really unpleasant. A long story short, you want him to successfully release aberrations 3 times before each green vial. Maloriak will also use Remedy on himself several times during this encounter, so if he uses it, it needs to be dispelled immediately, because it heals him for 150k health and 2k mana each second for 10 seconds. Let me note one more time that during the green vial, which is now, he will channel Arcane Storm and he will cast Release Aberrations one more time. Both need to be interrupted as soon as possible because you don't want more damage or minions than really is necessary. Okay, we took care of 18 minions and now we're going to knock him into the second phase. At 25% of HP, Maloriak will use Release All Minions, which will release all remaining minions if you didn't kill 18 of them. Also 2 Prime Subjects will be released, which are 2 minions stronger than the aberrations. The minion tank quickly has to pick them up, because shortly after, the Prime Subjects will use Fixate, which locks them to their current target. He will also make a big fire trail on the floor that everybody needs to avoid. The tank can see where Maloriak is pointing to before he actually makes it, so the tank can position himself correctly before the trial appears. Another ability, Acid Nova, deals 15k damage each second to everybody in the raid for 10 seconds. It's unavoidable, so you have to heal through it. And the last ability he got, Absolute Zero, which looks like a floating blue orb, which is slowly reaching the floor, and if it touches the floor, it will explode, dealing over 47k damage to people within range and knocking them back. So move if the orb appears near you. And this is everything I can tell about Maloriak. Hopefully the tips and the tactics will help out, guys, and see you later.